Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Ask That Podcast on YouTube. Using a different mic, so if this sounds a little different, that's why I'm. Excuse me. I've been using a Skull Candy set earbuds with the mic on because it comes through this kind of shit. It works good. I mean, hell, I know a couple of professional podcasters that they use. Well, I prefer. I know this has nothing to do with what you're seeing right here, but fuck it. I get backstory on everything. I prefer old-fashioned earphones, that cover your ear. Partially because I use earphones to block out noise. I have issues with crowd noise. I recently found a cheap set of headphones that look decent for next to nothing, and they got a decent microphone on it. So, all right, well, welcome back to Ask That Podcast on YouTube. What we got here is a cartoon. This is Dungeons & Dragons, the animated series, all 27 episodes. Now, this is the Mill Creek release. I wish this was the other one. But BCI, I think, did it. Somebody put this out a long time ago, and it was full of extras, like commentaries, behind the scenes shit, and even the script for the final. There's one guy, he wrote like 7 of the 27 episodes, something like that. They commissioned him to write a script. It was gonna be the final episode where the kids get home. Let's go into the story. Real simple story. You got these kids here. There's the wizard, Presto, I want to say they call her like an acrobat, but I don't remember there being an acrobat class in D&D. I think she was supposed to be like an Amazon. The ranger, the barbarian, Bobby, I can't remember the thief's name, and then Eric the paladin. Each one has a special weapon. The wizard had a hat he could pull shit out of, but it's never what he wanted. The Amazon had I'm going to call it Amazon because that's what's sticking in my head here, had a staff that could grow to extended lengths. The ranger had this bow, this badass bow. Like as a kid, that's the weapon everybody wanted. Fuck everything else, we wanted that fucking bow. Bobby Barbarian had a club that was like super strong. Thief had a cloak to make invisible, and the paladin had a super strong shield. And they're fighting. That's Tom and Tan, that's Venger. There's kids that are at like a county fair. Bobby is this girl's little sister, and they're all friends. And you kind of hit Hank, that's his name, Hank, and this girl right here. Like he's got a crush on her. And they go on the Dungeons & Dragons roller coaster, and they get sucked into the world of Dungeons & Dragons, and the Dungeon Master reveals to them there is a way home. They just got to find it. And then it's just them going around solving like mysteries and crime. Very good show. This was like, I don't know about nationwide, but where I grew up, this was like the hottest fucking cartoon. Like everybody watches shit. Boys, girls, everybody. Like, I was in, was this on the back when that shit originally aired? 84. I was about 3rd grade when this started. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, somewhere around there. And like everybody at the elementary school was watching this shit. Came on Saturday morning, CBS. I don't remember what time anymore. I used to be able to even tell you that. It aired for 3 years, maybe 4, but there's only 3 years worth of episodes. Some of the seasons were kind of short, and it was just like everybody's favorite cartoon, and then all of a sudden it ended. And we're like, motherfucker. And it kind of disappeared. It didn't get rerun, because a lot of the Saturday morning cartoons, if they got at least a 3-year run, once they ended, they would get sold off into syndication and either air like, they had enough episodes, they've been airing a long time, like, shit like the Flintstones and stuff like that. They'd air Monday through Friday after you got out of school. Yeah, back in the day, kids, for people young under the age of, 20 almost. Back in the days, pre-cable, well, cable was around, but most people didn't have it. 1 second. Sorry about that. Back in the day, pre-cable, you had, usually you got 5 channels. You had, your 3 main networks, ABC, NBC, CBS. You had usually an independent channel that in a few years, in 84, a few years from now, would become Fox. And then you had PBS. Well, the big 3 had Saturday morning cartoons, but not only that, but they also had after school, like in my area, because, I'm in the Central Time Zone. School let out about 2:30, and I lived a good ways from school. So it was 3 o'clock before I got home. Usually from like about 2 or 2:30 till about 4 was cartoons on at least the independent channel. And usually one of the main networks has something like, they usually have like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, Popeye, stuff like that. That was cartoons you saw every day. On the weekends, you had, on your big 3 networks, you had whatever the new cartoons was. And the big stuff back then was like, Super Friends was ending its run. But you said not Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes was on, Smurfs was getting big. All that kind of stuff. D&D was probably the big one on CBS. ABC, I think, was still running on the Scooby-Doo train. And then your independent channel would show just whatever they could get a hold of. And they would show shit from like 5 o'clock in the morning until like 1. It's like the main networks, their cartoons are over about 12. You flip it down independent. Oh, it'll be something good. Motherfucker. It's like, Young Hercules or, Captain Clutch Cargo. Shit like that. Oh, come on, man. But Dungeons & Dragons, it's such a good cartoon. But I'm sorry, I'm on tangent. That's what I'll say. Nowadays, kids, you got channels that showing up with cartoons 24/7. You got streaming. We didn't have any of that. So you look forward to this. Well, this disappeared. Didn't go into syndication that I know of at all. At all. And I'd kind of forgotten about it. I remember it, and then it was late 90s, I'm thinking, because I was still living in Port Arthur, Texas, in a certain area. I moved a lot when I was in Texas. And I get home from work when they had to work a morning shift, so I got off at like 2. And I get home and I'm half out of it. It's a long shift. I come home and I'm flipping channels. And I flip it through Fox and I see what cartoons are on, I'm like, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons. They reran it it was during the summer, I remember, for like months, like 2 or 3 months. They reran every day. And I was watching. I should have recorded. I should be recording these. I never would. Well, I'll be honest. One of the first things I downloaded once I got BitTorrent, high-speed internet, and had found out how to burn DVDs, had DVD burner, and got the programs, which is very easy to do, is I sat down and downloaded all 27 episodes because I was like, I don't think I ever saw them. And there was always rumors amongst us kids that they did air one that showed how they got home, but the rumors were weird, like, oh, well, they beat Siamatad and Venger, and then the roller coaster appeared, and they just rode it back home. The one I always heard was that they're not ever going to get home because, and this came from the Christian kid whose parents wouldn't let him watch TV that much, and they'd sneak over to their friend's house to watch TV. Oh, they're in hell for playing D&D, and that's why they'll never get home. And I've heard the story, that turned out to be a fairly common story with some change, like they're in limbo, they're in purgatory, shit like this. They'll never get home, they're dead. And I think what it was, and people were like, oh, they revealed in the last episode they're dead. I'm thinking people got the last book of the Chronicles of Narnia and Dungeons & Dragons mixed up, because that's what happens in the last Chronicles of Narnia. You find out most of the characters are dead. And you're like, oh, motherfucker. But Dungeons & Dragons, all right, so this ends up being a 3. Oh, come on. Damn. It's a 3-disc set. Now, I do like that Mill Creek does this. They put their shit in a sleeve and set them on a spindle. And each one of them's got, 9 or so episodes. There's 27 episodes across 3 seasons. Listen to this. An enchanted roller coaster delivers 6 youths into the magical realm of Dungeons and Dragons. There, each of them gains magical talents and abilities, all the better to survive their time in the realm. The bow shooting ranger, the acrobat, the thief, the cavalier, the boy wizard, and the barbarian are soon joined by a baby unicorn named Uni and tutored by the mysterious and inscrutable dungeon master. Opposing them is the evil sorcerer Avenger, as well as various ogres, demons, bounty hunters, dragons, lizard men, skeleton warriors, and more, all intent on keeping the kids from getting back home. Look, a beholder. It lists all the episodes. 9 hours to something. That's a lot. And when I burnt this myself, I put it was across 3 discs. Like my last disc only had a couple episodes. And this is one of those, a couple of times before I got my burner, I was at a convention. I used to go to conventions fairly often. Back in the day, I don't know if you see as much, because I don't go to conventions. One main convention I go to, they kind of frown on people selling bootlegs. But there always be dealers, selling bootleg DVDs and VHS, but DVDs were big by them, of stuff that just ain't out. And Dungeons & Dragons is one of the big ones. These guys were putting like 4 episodes per disc, fucking 5, 6 discs. Oh, it's $10 a disc. It's $50. You can't find it. And a lot of them, from what I heard, were the Fox airing rips. And like commercials still on them. These look good. I would like the other set, but such a good series. And what amazed me, and I found out why now, there was a Dungeons & Dragons toy line out at this time. It was called Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. I never saw them many places. I've only owned 1 or 2, and that's after they were out, like years later, when I got heavy into trading and collecting action figures. I had a couple. I had the Shambling Mound and a couple like that. There's none of these characters, none of the heroes are in there. I think Warduke might have showed up in the cartoon from that line, but they never did. The only toys they have of these came out in like Italy or France, somewhere in Europe. And they're little PVCs, but yay big, like Smurf size. I love how I use these 80s references so much. Smurf size, like everybody out there remembers, oh yeah, Smurfs were only this big when they were figures, But Smurf size figures, move. Very nice looking, expensive as fuck to get a hold of. And what I found out also is there was a comic book published in Italy or France. Again, this cartoon was huge worldwide. That told more stories, but I've never seen scans. I've never heard of translations of them. And they have appeared in some D&D stuff, like little references to them and stuff. I want to know what happened to these kids. In my head continuity, they never made it back. They end up settling into this world and became like the heroes of this world. In my head as a kid, that's what I came up with. I've never come up with anything better. But fucking Dungeons & Dragons, man. They say I don't hear people talking about it anymore. What got me thinking about this, I found this set like about a week ago. And I was flipping through up at night when I'm kick back in bed and I'm going through my email and like read my forums. I'll put on YouTube and just watch little videos. There's just one guy, I'm gonna Give him a shout. Toy Galaxy. Love his shit. He does like an oddity scene with like odd toy lines. And he talked about Dungeon Dragon. He did one on the toy line, then he did one on the cartoon, and that's where I got a lot of my info. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is actually, I mean, it's like, I haven't done one on that yet. And I really enjoyed it. And the thing about it is by the time this came out, I was already playing D&D. I started playing D&D, oh, fuck, 82-ish? I started playing when I was like in first grade. A friend of mine, guy my dad worked with, had a son that was a year or two older than me. We're close in age, like a year or two, might not even been two, might be like a year and a half. He was playing with his buddies, and I got invited to play. Well, I started playing one and really enjoyed it so much, my mom's like, well, I'll get you the set, you play with your friends. Well, I didn't realize that my buddies were playing, but they weren't playing with dice. They're just, okay, pick out your equipment. They come up with a map, you run through it. And it'd be just like, okay, that works or that doesn't work. It's kind of like up to the dungeon master. There wasn't no dice, wasn't no chance in it. So I get the rule book, and I got just plain basic D&D. It was the red box, as far as I remember. The dragon on it. I used to love flipping through the monster manual in there. I think it was a monster manual. I don't remember exactly. It's been so many years now. And realized how hard it was. None of my buddies wanted to play. Well, I'd bring it to school with me. Well, around this time is when that fucking Mazes and Monsters movie aired. And of course, people just take shit at face value and watched it. And D&D's evil. And I got a teacher when I'm in second or third grade going off me in front of the whole class about how I dare bring this satanic thing to school and all this. I remember fussing at my mom about it, and she's like, well, the teacher's right. I'm like, what the fuck, And I did run into the woman years later and kind of gave her a peace of mind, like I was grown. She barely remembered. I think she mostly remembered because my mother at the time had started substitute teaching at my school, so she saw my mother fairly often. So I'm like, that's what you believe, but you shouldn't have called me out in front of the fucking class, you stupid fucking bitch. If you'd done that nowadays, your ass would have been fired. You should have been fired back then, but hey, shit happens. It's Mississippi. Well, I hope you enjoy that little history on D&D. Just look at that. And this is cheap and easy to find out. When you buy this, make sure you get the one that has all 27. There's more than one set. There's a pack that has like the first half, like 13 of them, or 14. And you find that extremely cheap. Matter of fact, that's what I had for a long time. I had a bootleg set, and then I had that, then I had this. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe for comments. What is your favorite cartoon from your childhood? You never hear anybody talk about hardly, For me, D&D's one of the main ones. There's others, and I need to find. I know another one I really want to talk about. I just got to find my DVD set of it. But and if it, do you have a copy? Is it out there legitimately? Did you have to do like I did and kind of, illegally get you a copy because they wouldn't put it out? I'm just curious. All right, talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.